You don't need to fear fats in your diet any longer, my friends. But caution, learn which fats heal and which fats kill. Hello, I'm Dr. Krystosik, and the truth is, most people are afraid of fat. Well, they've been told for decades that fat clogs your arteries, makes you gain weight, and leads to serious chronic disease like heart disease, diabetes, and cancer. But here's the truth: not all fats are created equal. There are fats that heal and fats that kill. The right fats can actually fight inflammation, prevent insulin resistance and diabetes, and protect you from serious chronic diseases. And today I'm going to show you which fats heal your body and which fats silently destroy it. Well, let's start with omega-3 fats. These are powerful anti-inflammatory fats that are found in cold water fish like salmon and mackerel and sardines. While these omega-3 fats act like medicine for every cell in your body. They improve insulin sensitivity. That's the number one cause of diabetes. And they lower the bad cholesterol and triglycerides, and they reduce your risk for heart disease, inflammatory bowel disease, autoimmune diseases, arthritis, cancer, and many other inflammatory conditions. But here's what most people don't realize. The fish you see in the supermarket mostly come from farms. They're not from wild caught fish, my friends. Farm raised fish are low in omega-3 fats because they're fed things that fish would never eat in the wild. They don't eat grains and meat scraps and even food colorings that farm raised fish have. On top of that, those ponds that our fish are raised in are often contaminated with pesticides. Now, here's the good news: wild caught salmon is loaded with omega-3 fats. Farm raised salmon are doing actually more harm than good because they have all those toxic elements in them. And if you're eating fish for good health, make sure it's wild caught. Now, next, let's talk about another superstar fat. That's monounsaturated fats. Well, you'll find them in olive oil, avocados, almonds, and macadamia nuts. Now, these fats work directly on your liver to improve it and help your body to handle blood sugar properly. They also help reduce inflammation and protect your heart. But here's one big mistake many people make with olive oil: they heat it way too high. You see, when olive oil reaches its smoke point, that's around 165 degrees Celsius, it changes its form from a healthy cis fat into a dangerous trans fat. Well, that's the same kind of fat that junk foods have, and they damage your arteries and trigger chronic diseases. Well, here's the lesson: use olive oil at room temperature or at low temperatures. What I like to do when I cook my foods is to use a little bit of water in the pan and then add the olive oil at the last 30 or 40 seconds. If you see smoke rising from the pan, you've already turned your healthy olive oil into a poison. Now let's compare those healthy fats to the ones that most people eat every day, and those are seed oils that are highly processed. Sunflower and safflower and canola and soybean oils, they're processed into what is known as hydrogenated fats, and they're found in potato chips, crackers, cookies, and most processed foods. Well, these fats are inflammatory. They block insulin receptors, they drive chronic disease, and cause a lot of problems for people who are suffering with these problems. Now, catch this. Here's the sneaky part. Even if the label says no trans fats, well, the FDA, which is supposed to be protecting our health, they still allow food manufacturers to put 1/2 gram of trans fats per serving inside of that food, and they end up having those foods become a poison. Well, it sounds pretty fishy, right? Well, listen to this. My calculator says zero is zero, right? Well, here's the real problem. Who just eats one serving of chips or cookies or any food? 3 or 4 servings at a meal can easily add up to several grams of trans fat. And listen to this, listen carefully. Research shows that 3 grams of trans fats per day, that's hydrogenated oils, dramatically increase your risk for heart disease, cancer, and other chronic illnesses. Now, finally, let's talk about cooperation with nature. Let's look at how our bodies are actually designed by nature. You see, humans have a long, winding digestive tract, just like plant eating animals. And we produce lower levels of stomach acid called hydrochloric acid compared to the carnivorous animals, which have a short digestive tract, and they've got 10 times more hydrochloric acid in their gut, like a dog, that breaks down the animal protein quickly and gets it out of their bodies quickly. Well, what does that mean? Well, here's the bottom line. Saturated animal fats sit in our long human intestinal tract longer, where they can rot, putrefy, and feed the harmful bacteria. But when we eat plant-based fats, like those from olives, avocados, and nuts and seeds, well, they work in harmony with our good bacteria. They promote the growth of beneficial bacteria that keep our gut and our immune system strong and our whole body healthy. So here's the take-home message. Don't fear fat. Choose the right ones. Eat wild-caught fish for omega-3 fats. Use olive oil, but keep it away from high heat. Add avocados and almonds and macadamia nuts to your diet. Eat plant-rich foods, plant-based foods that are high in fiber that encourage the beneficial bacteria. Ditch the processed seed oils hiding in packaged foods. By all means, don't fall into the trap of believing the gurus on the internet who are trying to convince you that eating high levels of saturated fat are actually good for you. Why, okay, yeah, in the short run, people are getting good results and they're reversing inflammation and losing weight by eating high saturated fat diets. But that's only because these same people are getting junk food out of their diet, they're getting refined foods out of their body. And after years of eating all that garbage food, well, their body says, why, thank you. Thank you for getting rid of that crap. And the body rewards them in the short term. But if they keep on eating that high saturated fat, I'm talking about years of eating saturated fat, their body's going to end up with serious chronic disease. And their people are putting their long-term health at risk because there's no long-term research to prove that high saturated fat is good for your body. You see, the fact is, it's just the opposite. The long-term research that's been done for decades demonstrates that high saturated fat is associated with inflammation and chronic disease. And it's common sense tells you the healthiest cultures, the healthiest population eat high fiber plant-based diet with small amounts of protein. You see, the fats you choose every day will either fight disease or fuel it. The fats you choose will either heal or kill you. Which side are you on? Well, if you enjoyed this video and you found it to be beneficial, I encourage you to subscribe to my channel, like the video, tell your friends about it, leave a comment. In the description below, you'll find a link to my Gut 911 prescription community. That's Gut 911 Rx community, where people just like you are supporting each other. Once again, my friend, live according to what nature and populations have been doing for thousands of years. And if you disagree with me, fine. Tell me your position and back it up with long-term research, and then we can discuss it together. Until next time, here's to your health.